Hey man, how are you doing? Uh, just came back from the gym. I was in the heat biking for like fucking 45 minutes. It was horrible, but an idea popped up in my mind as I came here, and I thought to make a video about it. Recently I've realized that I am quite the overthinker. I'm quite the uh, obsessive person when it comes to certain things in my life. There are certain subjects, there are certain people at certain times which just make me overthink and obsess over certain small aspects so much. And one aspect which has been really relevant lately is relationships. It's that one girl that you're thinking about all the time, right? If that's your case, right? Or the guy or whatever, right? uh, whoever you're thinking of. To me, it's this girl that I've been talking to for a decent amount of time, really. Who I really like, man. Like I really like her, and she seems to like me too. But there's just certain things, Uh, she's not here at the moment, so we're mostly talking through text and sometimes calling and stuff. But it's at the moment it's like we're far away from each other. And this is, I think, the best conditions, the best circumstances under which my overthinking mind thrives, right? I am such a fool for making up scenarios in my mind, making up weird situations that they never actually come true. Maybe like 1% of the time, right? And you see, things here are like weird. I just end up thinking about the most uh like I don't even know. I don't want to say fucked up or bad, but it's just like I don't know, unpleasant, right? Just unpleasant would be a nice word to use. Like unpleasant situations, right? This girl, she's really nice. She looks amazing. She's really amazing, She's very social. She's like all the things they would want in a person, more or less. Depends on you, but I'm thinking about that. She's away. She has a group of friends, and she's going out. She's doing all these social things and activities, and here I am on the phone talking to her and stuff. Sometimes calling her, and I always think like, man. One example of such a stupid scenario that I make up in my mind is like, man, like this girl, she's going out for friends, and probably there's like a lot of guys there who would look at her and be like, oh, she's really attractive, and they would try to like flirt with her and do this and do that. I'd be like, sometimes I'd send her a message, or I wouldn't even send her a message at all, and for like an entire day almost, there'd be nothing, right? She wouldn't answer, she wouldn't see the message, whatever. And I'd start having these very stupid thoughts of like, ah, she's going out there with these guys, and this is why she just doesn't care about me at all. She doesn't give a fuck. And then when I least expect it, she sends me like a bunch of photos from the day. I mean, that doesn't like 100% eliminate the idea, the possibility that those guys with her, they might talk and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm the odd one out. But honestly, man, some just people have shit to do. People have a life to live. You cannot just sit and obsess over every little thing that somebody does. I mean, would you be okay with having a girl just fucking obsess over you hanging out with your friends, and there's maybe like one girl in the group or something? Or like you're going to school and she's obsessing because you have classmates or girls in that school. That's just stupid. That's unreasonably stupid, right? And yet, we make up these scenarios in our mind and we act like they are actually really justified, when in reality they're not. You're not justified to make up these scenarios and in turn influence the way that you see that person on grounds, on things that genuinely did not even happen, on things that you have no proof have actually happened. I mean, yeah, you can be all like, you can think about it and, be like, yeah, for sure. I mean, maybe. But bro, at the end of the day, she texted me. She sent me a bunch of photos from the day, which were really nice. They were really nice to look at. A lot of things, and it's like that, You have to keep your overthinking mind in check, or else you are going to perhaps consciously or unconsciously, like subconsciously, alter the way that you see that person. Maybe you really care about that person. Maybe like you really like the person that you're dating, or like you're thinking about that you like in general. Like you really, really like that person. And you're getting more and more attached to that person, or it's a person that you just really care a lot about. You don't necessarily like in a romantic way. If you're not careful, you can end up making enough of these unpleasant situations up in your mind, all these scenarios, right? That it just ends up affecting you. It just ends up affecting your vision, your actual opinion of that person, the actual way that you see that person. And once that happens, sometimes it's very hard to come back. Sometimes it's very hard to even realize that you're doing that. Up until like the very moment where, and sometimes most of the time it's actually too late. When you realize it, it's actually too late. You've already said something, or you've already alienated yourself enough from that person to the point where it's just, that person, I think, they get a different idea of what's going on and they stop talking to you, or they just leave you alone, right? Don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, if you don't want that person to go away or something, or if you don't want to say something stupid or be a shitty person, you need to figure out a way to let that overthinking mind go to fuck, go to shit, go to hell, right? You need to get rid of it. Or at least you need to really, really dim it down. Up to the point where it's just like, you realize that sometimes you're overthinking, and you can tell yourself, all right, I'm overthinking. It does not help me at all. This will only fuck things up more. I need to stop. And you need to figure out a way to do that. You see, what I do is, I mean, I've started doing this recently because I ended up like really, really overthinking it. And it was like actually starting to just affect my opinion of her, and like just absolutely unreasonable stuff that just my mind would come up with. Like I would not even like consciously be like, yeah, I indulge in that thought. Like, yeah, that seems like something that you would do. No, it's just like shit that is made up in your mind where you're just washing dishes, or you're like vacuuming, or you're fuck no, doing whatever, right? And you get these thoughts and you don't even like consciously think about them. They just play out before your eyes, and you're just in there, and before you before you even realize it, you're in the rabbit hole of overthinking about this. You The way that I do it is I get myself to, when I figure it out that I'm actually overthinking, and you probably know, like you have like a certain way that you feel when you overthink. I do. I feel like, especially when I think about this and I overthink about this, I just feel like there's a tightness in my chest, right? I feel like there's something tight in my chest going on, and my hair looks weird. Sorry. There's a tightness in my chest, and it's I don't know. It just prevents me really from feeling like I'm taking in really deep breaths, right? And I just feel a little bit more jumpy. Like I look around, I just feel like a lot more jumpy. I feel like a lot more alert than I would like to be. And that is because when you think about stuff, like you already know this, or maybe you didn't realize it, but when you think about stuff, most of the time it will actually have a physical reaction on your body. You know, this is not some woo shit, bro. When you are thinking about something that really scares you, or something that really angers you, or something, just gives you like really strong states of emotion, you might start sweating. You might start having a higher heart rate. You might be more alert. You might be, I don't know, like all these kinds of things. Like there are certain things that happen to you when you think about certain things, right? And so when you end up overthinking, you might more than likely put yourself in a high state of arousal. Like your body's just on, it's just active, it's there. It's like maybe your heart rate's up, maybe you're a little bit sweating, or maybe you're just jumpy. I'm jumpy, right? I'm not sure about my heart rate because I haven't checked it, but that's possible as well. So when I notice that, and I notice the thoughts that I'm having are like related to that, and I come to the conclusion I'm overthinking, I take a few moments to just take in a few deep breaths. I take in a few moments to just calm myself down. All right? I do that so I can like more or less control this state of arousal that I put my body in. And once I do that, I remind myself that I'm overthinking. I remind myself that what I'm saying is probably or 100% unreasonable and stupid, and it's not helping me at all for anything, right? It's just actually getting in the way, and it's only damaging the relationship that I have and the image that I have of that person. You know, I give myself a few logical, I like, sometimes for me logic works, you know. I just think of like, well, you know, when she doesn't answer for a long time, I'm like, oh man, what is she doing? Whatever, she doesn't want to talk to me, all that kind of shit, right? Whatever. And I think to myself, well, that's unreasonably stupid and illogical and irrational. Like, yesterday she talked to you for fucking 5 hours, right? You called and you stayed and you talked and you laughed for fucking 5 hours on end, right? And now you're thinking to yourself, oh, she doesn't want to talk to me anymore. She fucking hates me. Bro, how does that work? Right? I give these more or less logical reasons as to why the thoughts that I'm having are stupid. And it just takes away from that. It takes away from the power that they have on me. And if you feel like this is like these are things that you could actually communicate with the other person in an open way, do so. Like that would be a really good idea. To some extent, I feel like if I were to start talking to her about this and everything, she'd just like be like, "What the fuck are you saying, man?" You know. Which I mean, yeah, fair enough. I am a bit weird. I'm a bit unreasonably fucking stupid sometimes, but I'm trying my best to. I mean, I'm not sure if it's my best, but I'm trying, man. I'm fucking trying here to not let that affect me anymore, as it used to, like really bad a while back. Um, if you can communicate this in a way with the other person where you don't come across as needy or as crazy or as annoying or as, I don't know, clingy or whatever, and you can just like tell that person about what your fear is or what you're overthinking about, and that person can also understand it, and it's also authentic to you, right? So you don't make the problem much smaller than it is just because, you know, you're like, oh, but what if she will think that I'm crazy or something, right? It's all right. If you can talk to that person, I mean, I'm sure that I could talk to this girl. She's a really reasonable and nice and kind person and understanding, so definitely I could. But I just feel like this is my fucking burden to go through. I have to fix this myself. You know, like I cannot let this fuck me over so much. I mean, she already has enough on her plate at the moment, so why should I add this extra shit? You know, when I can I feel like I'm capable of taking care of it myself, and I'm actually doing good progress, right? It's up to you, really. I mean, if you really, if that person's, really open to it and you've done it before, why not do it again? Or, you want to try now, but, or just, you don't even necessarily have to mention this to that person, right? So that they can debunk, or in sad situations, like actually confirm your overthinking, and you can like more or less reach some sort of peace. You could just talk to any other person. Like, you have friends, you have your family, you have your mom and dad, hopefully. You have your brother, your sister, whoever it might be. You have your friends on the internet. Anybody, bro. I've noticed that I could go on War Thunder, which is like the shittiest fucking game filled with dumb fucks, right? Like, retarded, bro. Stupid, right? And you can just go in there and you go in the alt chat, and where you talk to everybody in the game, and you're like, guys, I'm thinking about this and this and this, and some of them will actually give you good advice, right? Just an example. You don't have to go on War Thunder. You don't have to install War Thunder and play it for this, but it just shows that people are actually willing to help and listen if you're willing to talk, right? And you can just talk to your friends about it. You can talk to your family. If you have a good relationship with your parents, and perhaps maybe this could be a good way for you to initiate and start like improving your relationship with your parents if you don't have a good one. Just talk to them about this. They surprisingly might give you good advice. You just have to like be careful to filtrate it, because some people will give advice out of their own bias, or they might not know enough about it, right? So you just have to kind of see what feels right and feels alright to you. But stop overthinking, for fuck's sake, alright? We gotta stop this shit, man, because it's just ruining your day-to-day life. It's making everything so much worse. So stop doing it, alright? Find ways to get out of your own head, and tell yourself, man, whatever the fuck happens, it's gonna be alright. Whatever the fuck happens, chances are 99% of the time it's not gonna be as bad as it is in your head, even in the worst case scenario. So just take it easy. Breathe, be chill. Enjoy yourself, enjoy life. Yeah, man. Hopefully this made sense, and I don't sound like a crazy person or something. I wish you have a good day, and thank you for listening to my ramble for almost 18 minutes. Have a good day, boy. See ya. Bye bye.